Hey YouTube, want to know the best way to file an insurance claim? Watch the upcoming video. What's the best way to file an insurance claim? Let's go over how to file a claim when you've suffered damage to your property. Although it seems pretty straightforward, it can be a little bit confusing, and unfortunately, sometimes you can get tripped up a little bit or even get some poor guidance. So a loss occurs to your property. Under the duties after loss section in your policy, your insurance company not only expects but requires you to provide prompt or immediate notice that a loss has occurred. If you intend on potentially receiving some benefits, you need to get your claim filed right away. I cannot think of any benefit in delaying filing your claim whatsoever. We cover this in other videos, so I'm not going to get too in depth about that requirement under your policy here, but I cannot stress enough to you, get your claim filed right away as soon as possible. So what's the best way to file your claim? Well, that depends. Most people think they should just pick up the phone and call their agent, right? I'm not so sure that's the best way based on some horror stories I've been involved in over the last couple of decades in dealing with insurance. Other people think that sending an email to their agent or the insurance company is the best way. Again, I'm not so sure, and I'll go over some reasons why, and I'll also review with you what I believe to be the very best way overall to get your claim filed. Now, I'm likely going to get a bunch of insurance agents getting pissed off at me, and if you're an insurance agent and you get bent out of shape from this video, please know that recently, due to cutbacks at our company and many people working remotely, we had to lay off our complaint department. So there's no one there to take your call if you have a complaint. But seriously, just hear me out and try to wrap your brain around the fact that I've seen a lot of things go wrong, and maybe just possibly there's a lesson to be learned here in dealing with your clients. And calling your agent can get the job done in most instances. I'm not saying it can't. There's nothing wrong with filing your claim this way, but a lot of people don't even know who their agent is or have that information readily available when a loss occurs. In order to get that info, they'd have to dig in and do some research and possibly eat up valuable time digging for that info rather than getting their claim moving forward. Time they may not have to waste. For instance, people that have purchased new homes and the insurance is purchased through escrow might not actually have picked their agent or even know who their agent is. Or maybe they lost the information and it could take days to sift through documents to find out who the agent is. Maybe the premium is paid through an impound account, and like a lot of people have when they purchase a home. So an issue can also arise when you call your agent, when the agent kind of oversteps their knowledge and their skill set. They do some sort of quick analysis with you of what your claim might be about, and then give you really bad advice, maybe because they didn't have all the facts or maybe not a good understanding of how coverage would be applied. Let's look at an example. Let's say that you call your agent and you believe that your loss due to water damage is maybe $2,000. That's your estimate. You don't have much knowledge about construction, and from what you see, a sink overflowed and got the upstairs bathroom floor wet, and the hallway carpet outside the bathroom got wet, and there's a small stain on the ceiling downstairs in the living room. So you got out your wet vac and did some cleanup and figured maybe you'll lift the carpet up and let the carpet dry out, and you might have to repaint the living room ceiling down the road. The agent tells you and says, hey, look, your deductible's $1,000, it's $1,000, and although you likely have a covered loss, they convince you that it may not be the best idea to file a claim for that little bit of money, the $1,000, over when your rates will get raised, or worse, your policy get canceled. And good luck getting another company to insure you after you have a bad mark on your record. So you think about it, you wait overnight, and you decide it's just not worth it. and your agent gives you the attaboy and sends you a Christmas card and goes on selling more policies, not even thinking about it. So a few weeks go by and you kind of start to smell a foul odor in the upstairs bathroom, and as a matter of fact, it kind of stinks a little bit downstairs too. And the stain on the living room ceiling that you haven't got around to painting, well, now it's started to turn green. Crap, you've got mold. That's probably why your eyes have been itchy, you've been stuffed up lately, and you go upstairs and you lift up that hallway carpet back up, and sure enough, there's mold under there too. And behind the bathroom sink, somewhere you didn't think of looking, more mold. In fact, the tile in the flooring of the bathroom has started to crack and the floor feels a little spongy. What the hell? You call your agent back up and let them know it's worse than you originally described. Your agent hears you out, questions you on, hey, why'd you wait so long to call me back? And then reluctantly decides to go ahead and file the claim for you. They probably realize that it's going to be an uphill battle for you at this point. So a few days after filing the claim, the adjuster comes out to inspect, gets the facts surrounding the loss, confirms with you that you waited 3 weeks to get the claim filed, despite your explanation that you called the agent right away. The claim didn't get filed for 3 weeks. You didn't really do much mitigation because you didn't realize that there was a lot of moisture trapped inside the walls and the ceiling cavity. But hey, what does it matter, right? It's a water loss and it's a covered claim, right? And you filed the claim. Well, maybe, but there are limits to mold coverage on your policy. Some policies exclude mold altogether, even if it did start with a covered loss. And besides, the adjuster is going to blame you, you, for not having filed your claim right away and not properly mitigating your damages to prevent further damage to the property. Both of these are breaches of your duties after loss as outlined in your policy. Okay, so maybe there is a better way to file a claim, right? A popular way also is to email your agent, and that way you have a paper trail of sorts, right? So you email your agent, a few days go by, no response. So you call your agent only to find out that you misspelled the email address, or it went to a spam folder, or even the agent was on vacation for a week and had no one else to help. Not the best method at all. Email is a great method for following up, but not so much for the initial filing of a claim, as there is a host of ways that the actual filing of the claim gets delayed or not filed at all. Well, what about just mailing a letter to the insurance company, the agent, or maybe even faxing them? No. Although some insurance companies request that you provide a written notice when a loss occurs, these ways are no longer efficient. There's too much that could go wrong, and you can imagine mailing them a letter, even if it's via registered mail. What if they don't sign for it? It gets rejected. What if they can? Some insurance companies only provide you their P.O. box number, and there isn't even anyone there to sign. Don't even think about these methods. They're useless. Sure, maybe for a follow-up or sending them a bunch of receipts once the claim is underway, but not for the initial filing of a claim. The very best way, in my opinion, to file an insurance claim is to pick up the phone and call the insurance company directly, the corporation, not your agent, but the actual insurance company. In most cases, the phone number to contact the insurance company is somewhere in the policy, towards the back of the policy. It says to file a claim, and it's likely a toll-free number. Don't have a copy of the policy like most people? Google it. Every carrier has a website, and once you land on their website, there's a tab that gives you instructions for which number to call to file a claim. Again, it's almost always a toll-free number. Some have a form that you can fill out right there online, and if you're going to fill out the form, then make sure you get a confirmation email acknowledging that you filed the claim, or some sort of confirmation that you can snap a photo right there on the screen on your computer, or do a screen share or screenshot of it. And if you don't get a confirmation, call the insurance company directly. Why do I like this method more than other ways to potentially file an insurance claim? The reason I put this method at the top of the list is, first, you know the claim's getting filed with the insurance company. No delays. It's done. When you call your insurance agent, you're not 100% sure that the claim actually got filed with the insurance company, unless of course you get a claim number and a written confirmation. But not all carriers do that. It's been known in the past that an agent takes the information down, but then doesn't follow up and actually get the claim filed and turns into a mess. Number two, there's no emotion involved. There's a representative on the other end of the phone that doesn't even know you, isn't going to analyze the facts surrounding the claim for you, and is simply going to take your information, go through a list of questions, and file the claim. A lot of people do know their agents, and they've built their business through friends and family, so it could be the agent is a friend or family or brother-in-law Bob, and he gets bent out of shape at you because, look, that claim might hurt his loss ratio, and they might try to talk you out of filing the claim under the auspice that they're wanting to help you so your rates don't go up. But even if your rates do go up, like 30% for 3 years straight, that's going to be offset by the dollar amount of your claim. I've had clients where they were reluctant to file a claim that equated to tens of thousands of dollars because they were so concerned that their premiums would increase. It's a little bit off topic, but I do promise I'll do a video about that one in the near future. But suffice it to say, don't be scared out of filing a legitimate claim because you're concerned your rates are going to increase. Okay? Now, real quickly, let me end with some quick tips for when you do call the insurance company and actually file the claim. You're going to need some info beyond just your name and your address. If you have the policy number, that's going to be super helpful. If not, they can look it up with your address. You'll need to know the date and sometimes the time of loss. If you don't know the exact time, simply explain to them, look, I left for work at 8 o'clock, I came back 5 o'clock, and when I got back, my home was broken into, or the house was flooded from a burst pipe or something. You can pick a time if they demand one and just say, look, I estimate it somewhere around 12 o'clock, but I'm really not positive. You'll also want to have a description of the number of rooms that were affected, or a general idea of some of the items that were stolen if it was a theft or something like that. The insurance company may want some other general information, like if you filed a police report during a theft, or if you called an emergency service company for water damage. They may want to know how many people live in your home and the ages of each person, which that info helps them establish the size of home you might need if you need temporary housing. The initial phone call is also going to be more brief than when the adjuster calls you, so set aside some more time for when the adjuster calls you, and because they're likely going to have a longer conversation with you. And here's a key tip. This is so crazy, like you really have to remember this, that phone call, that initial phone call, is likely being recorded. And most people don't understand that when they put them on hold, that they're still recording. So you want to be able to say during that recorded conversation accurate information. You don't want to guess. Like I told you the example of the time frame, I left at 8 and I came back at 5. Well, if they force you to pick a time, then say, okay, well, you're forcing me to pick a time. I can't really pick a time, but I'm going to say 12 o'clock so we can get this claim filed, but I really don't know that it was 12 o'clock. And also remember that when they put you on hold, that you're still being recorded. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but some clients of mine have said some really, really knucklehead stuff when they were put on hold, not realizing that they were still being recorded. And you're probably going to be put on hold. Some people have literally implicated themselves in fraud while they were on hold during like a theft claim. And I got to listen to those recordings where they implicated themselves for fraud while they were on hold. That's crazy. And obviously you're not going to call in an illegitimate or fraud type claim. I'm going to demand that you don't do that. But I do want you to realize that you're on hold, you're still being recorded, so don't say some, lovey-dovey things to, your girlfriend or wife or husband or something. Keep it professional the entire phone call. All right, so I've given you some good tips here, and I hope you enjoy them. You do want to hit the subscribe button so you're notified each time that we put a video out for you. And I just expect that you're going to hit that like button for me. That's the thumbs up one, not the thumbs down, man. The thumbs up one. And look, if you have a topic that you want us to cover or discuss, we'll be glad to consider it. Just leave a comment, you know, on top of the comments of how much you really like this video and it helped you out. But leave a comment for the topic that you want to discuss, and we'll be glad to try to do a video for you on that. And look, I appreciate you guys. Hope you appreciate these videos, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.